Mercury in the 10th house. Voice in the public world. Welcome to Mercury in the 10th house in Synastry. In this overlay, we explore what happens when one person's Mercury, their mind, their voice, their communicative intelligence, falls into another person's 10th house. The house of career, public reputation, vocation, authority, and the mark one makes on the wider world. This overlay carries a distinctly public quality. The 10th house is the most visible sector of the chart. It describes how we are seen professionally and socially, what we are known for, and the legacy we are in the process of building. It is the house of our public face, our professional identity, and the ambitions that reach beyond the private sphere into the shared world. When someone's Mercury lands here, it directs its communicative energy precisely toward those public and professional dimensions. The Mercury person becomes genuinely interested in the house person's professional life, their public role, their career trajectory, and the way they present themselves to the wider world. They think about how the house person communicates in professional contexts, and they often have perceptive and useful ideas about how that communication could be strengthened, refined, or made more effective. The Mercury person sees the house person's public presentation with a clarity that the house person themselves may lack, precisely because they are not inside it. The house person frequently finds the Mercury person to be a significant asset in their professional world. The Mercury person's intelligence, their facility with language and ideas, their analytical clarity, all of this can be genuinely useful in the context of the house person's public and career life. Writing, speaking, strategizing, making the house person's vision legible to others. These are areas where the Mercury person's influence can produce real, visible results. The Mercury person thinks naturally about the house person's public presence, and that thinking tends to be well-directed. There is also a quality of being spoken for, in the best sense of that phrase. The Mercury person may articulate the house person's professional vision more clearly and compellingly than the house person can articulate it themselves. They become, in a way, a voice for what the house person is working to build in the world. In professional partnerships, collaborative projects, or shared public endeavors, this quality can be extraordinarily productive. In business partnerships specifically, this overlay is particularly valuable. A colleague or collaborator whose Mercury falls in your 10th house will reliably think about your career, your reputation, and your public communication, and will contribute their mind actively and willingly to the advancement of your professional goals. The house person may also find that the Mercury person's ongoing engagement with their professional world helps them to understand their own vocation more clearly. The Mercury person asks questions, offers observations, makes connections, and in doing so, helps the house person see their own path with greater precision and confidence. To the challenges. The Mercury person's strong interest in the house person's public life can tip into something uncomfortable, a feeling of being managed, directed, or intellectually handled by someone who has decided opinions about how you should present yourself to the world. The house person's professional identity is deeply personal, and unwanted commentary in this domain can feel undermining rather than supportive, critical rather than helpful. There is also a risk that the Mercury person's presence in this house creates a dynamic in which the house person's public voice is gradually shaped by the Mercury person's preferences, that they begin to sound more like the Mercury person's idea of them and less like their own authentic self. In personal or romantic relationships, this overlay can create a subtle imbalance. The Mercury person engaging primarily with the house person's public and professional identity, and the house person feeling that the Mercury person relates to their career more fully than to their private interior world. Being known for what you do rather than for who you are is a particular form of loneliness. When navigated with awareness and genuine respect for the wholeness of the house person's identity, professional and private, Mercury in the 10th house produces a relationship of real mutual support and public collaboration. Two people who help each other communicate their visions more effectively, who think strategically about each other's paths in the world, and who bring genuine intelligence to the shared work of building something meaningful and visible. Mercury in the 10th house is ultimately about voice meeting purpose and the particular power of being truly heard in the domains that matter most to your calling.
Thank you for listening. Next, we explore Mercury in the 11th house.